Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. On this channel, I'm just a dude who loves to talk about baseball cards, and I just finished filming my previous video, but I thought I would go ahead and start on another one for hopefully next week or the following week. This is a video I'm excited to do. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm going to do an SGC submission. So my buddy Chris from Missouri gave me a few cards the weekend before last. I was up at his house inventorying his collection. He gave me a few cards to submit into SGC to get graded that he's going to give out as Christmas presents. Now, normally I don't like to do this, but he told me I could throw a couple of my own cards in there, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to throw 3 cards in there that I'll pay for as kind of an experiment. So again, I haven't done an SGC submission in a while, so I'm excited to send some cards off. But a couple of these cards are going to be for, well, we'll see how everything breaks down, but one will definitely be for my collection, and that's this Stadium Club Power Zone King Griffey Jr. If you watched my King Griffey Jr. card videos, you saw this card, and I'm a huge fan of this card. I just think the shine, the whatever they did to whatever technology they used on this card, I just think it's awesome. So I got into kind of a bidding war for this one on eBay and ended up spending about 30-35 bucks for it ungraded. But even in an 8, this has a fairly decent value. So I decided I would go ahead and send it in and get it graded, because it's one that's been hanging out in my to grade boxes for quite a while. And I love it. I think it's an amazing card. I think it will look awesome up there on my King Griffey Jr. display. I'm thinking that this is an 8. I would love to get a 9 or maybe higher, but I think this just has a little bit of chipping along the edges, and it's got a touch on the back of one of the corners. So this card kind of screams 8 to me, but even in an 8, this is one that I will keep in my collection just because, like I said, I think it's an amazing card. And then the next one I'm going to send in is the 89 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that this is one of, if not my favorite cards of all time. And I have one in a PSA 9. This came from a complete set that I bought for my buddy Tom. And really, I'm hoping that I can get a 9 out of this one. And if I do, what I'll do is I will trade, or in some way move the 9 that I already have, and then I will keep this one in my collection. But I think that this is probably going to grade an 8. And if it does, then what I'll probably do is just trade it once I get it back. But we'll see. Even in an 8, this is worth about 70 or 80 bucks. So it's definitely worth grading if I think it's going to get an 8, and I do with this one. So we'll see. I think it's got a shot at a 9, but they grade these cards really, really toughly. Or they're really, really tough on those cards, I should say. And these next ones coming up, these are going to be an experiment. So I'm going to send in 3 Bo Jacksons. What I'm hoping for with these is I don't get anything back worse than a 9. I don't know that there will be a 10 here, but if I get all 9s, 9.5s, I'll be happy with it. But the reason why I wanted to send these in, like I said, it's an experiment. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can show you kind of what I'm looking at here. Let me find which one it is. So, like this one, I think is pretty clean. As long as it's centered well enough, I think that this one could get a 10. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath. I pre-graded it as a 9 or a 9.5. It's always hard for me to write a 10 down on these pre-grading slips because I know how hard it is to get 10s with SGC. So I want to say again, they have a 10 to 12% gem rate on cards from the 80s. So it's an extremely tough grade to pull a 10 on this. But the main reason why I wanted to send these in is because they have little fuzzies up here in the corner, and I have a bunch of cards from the 87 set that have come out like this. If I can get it to focus, if you can see up there on this top corner right here where there's just a little fuzz there where it didn't get cut clean. So this is kind of going to be an experiment to see how they grade these cards, because I have a bunch more like this that I've thought about sending in to grade, and it doesn't make sense to send them in if I'm going to get a bunch of 8s or 8.5s out of them. And then here's another one, same thing, top left corner, there's a little bit of fuzz up there. You can see it better from the back, maybe if I can get the camera to focus again. But again, what I would call a dog ear, not folded down as a dog ear, but sticking out as a dog ear. It just didn't get cut clean. So I have a bunch of like Ozzie Smith for my player run. I have a bunch of Nolan Ryans, like a lot of Hall of Famers from this 87 set that I want to send in to get graded, but I don't want to send a bunch of them in until I kind of have a better idea of how they treat those on their grading. So if I get 9s out of these, then I'll go ahead and start sending more of them in at some point. But this is, again, kind of going to be an experiment just to see what kind of grades I get back on them, knowing that this is the best card out of the bunch. Like if there's one that's got a shot at a 10, it's this one. So perfect world, this grades a 10 and these grade 9.5s. But my guess is that this will probably be a 9.5, and then these will be 9s or 8.5s. So we'll see how it goes. So I should have sent these out last weekend for Chris. It's Sunday as I'm filming this video. I should have sent it out earlier this weekend, but my son had a band concert for the school that I forgot about. So I wasn't able to put the order together Friday night and ship it yesterday, which was what the plan was. So today's Sunday as I'm filming this. I'm going to put the order together tonight and get it all ready to ship. Then hopefully my wife can ship it for me one day next week after school, Monday or Tuesday, because I have away games for basketball both of those days. So I want to get them out soon so I can hurry up and get them back. But those are my thoughts on the grades before I send them out. So we'll see how everything comes back. So through the magic of YouTube, thank you to COG. COG Sports Cards were the pioneers of doing this. So I'm gonna clip in when I get the cards back, combine everything for one video. So hang with me, and then I'll show you the grades when they come back. All right, through the magic of Hollywood and through the magic of television, I am back. So the cards just came back from SGC today. It is Saturday, I believe the 7th of December. So SGC received this submission on the 22nd. They showed them graded in their system Monday of this week. I apologize, I didn't get all the dates together. And then they shipped out Wednesday and then made it in today. I think, like I said, it's the 7th of December. So all things considered, seeing as there was a huge major national travel holiday in there in the middle with Thanksgiving, like overall it was a pretty quick turnaround. And I'm gonna make this fairly quick because Chris is on his way back from a card show in Kansas City, and he's gonna pick his stack of cards up from the submission, and then he's gonna give some more to me to send in. So I want to make sure I'm done filming this by the time he gets here. So overall, I was pretty dead on with my pre-grades, and I'll go through them and show them to you one at a time and talk about the cards. But so I didn't get any over the top, just amazing grades, but I was close enough on my accuracy to where when I review these, if I think they have a shot at a 9, at least, depending on what, how the values break down and all that stuff, then I'll go ahead and send these cards in, because I was, again, pretty accurate. It's been a while since I've done a submission, so I feel like I was a little bit rusty, that especially on one card, there's maybe one thing that I missed that would have affected the grade otherwise. But I'll go ahead and quit flapping my gums, and I'll start showing you the cards that I got back. So if you remember, I sent off 387 Topps Bo Jacksons. I sent off an 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. and a 95 Stadium Club Power Zone Ken Griffey Jr. And those are what came back. So first, I can't really do win, lose, or draw in reverse order, because I was pretty accurate on all my grades. So I'm just going to show you the grades and then talk about the cards. So the lowest grade on the Bo Jacksons that I got was an 8.5. This one in the video I said I thought would grade in the 8 to 8.5 range. And this is a fair grade. It's maybe a little bit tough because, again, SGC is, they're tough to get 10s on. They have a gem rate of around 10 or 12% on cards from the 80s, if I remember correctly. This one's got a little bit of a centering issue. Again, it's got that fuzzy dog ear up here in the corner that I talked about on the first part of the video. And then there's some print issues in here on the border, where like the wood grain looks like it's got a yellow spot in it, which again is really common with these cards. So this in an 8.5 is probably around a $10 card. So if I keep these for show inventory, as long as I can avoid a lot of 8s and 8.5s and have enough 9s, 9.5s, and 10s to help offset that, then I'll be fine if I get the occasional 8.5 or 8. So again, I have a lot of 87 Topps cards that I want to send in to get graded. So this one is the other one with the dog ear, with just the fuzzy corner up here. But this one graded a 9. So I'm good with that. I was hoping that it would get a 9. That's exactly what it graded as. So as a 9, average VCP price right now is right around the grading fee, right around $15. So if I'm going to sell this at a show, then probably what I do is put 25 or 20 on it, and then hope that I can just get above my grading fee. But we'll see. And Chris is coming over. My camera just did that thing where it turns darker again for some reason. I guess because my lamp is here and I hold it in front of the cards when I show it. So I apologize for the lighting snafu. I need to hire a best boy and a gaffer, right? But anyway, Chris is gonna be here in a little bit. I'll show them to him. He's gonna look and see what his Bo Jackson rookie card is and some other stuff. And these are cards, if Chris wants them, I'll sell them to Chris. If I'm gonna set up at shows, I've got to start building some inventory, but I've got to send in more than 5 cards at a time to do it. Yeah, this light's bugging me now. So the third and final Bo Jackson, this is the one that I thought had a chance at a 9.5 or a 10, and it came back a 9. But what I realized after I saw the grades, because again, I always look, is I missed a print dot right there on his pants leg. So had I have caught that, or let's say that this card didn't have that print dot, this is probably a 9.5. And this was the best one out of the group. But again, I missed the print dot, so I definitely have to start looking these cards over a little better before I send them in, because you know, if it's a cheap card like most of these are from the junk wax era and I miss a print dot on it, you know, the difference might be, you know, losing money or making a little bit of money on that card. So I've got to be pretty precise when you're dealing with grading junk wax cards. So it's definitely a roll of the dice. But as long as I stay pretty accurate, so with all these I was within a half a grade. So I'll take that all day. So the next one we have is the Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. Like I said in the first part of the video, this just screamed 8 to me, and I nailed it on the head. So I think in an 8, this is still worth 50 or 60 bucks. So, you know, this one, if I lose money on the Bo Jackson 8.5 or whatever, like, this one can help. A card like this can help offset it. The problem with that is I don't have a lot of 89 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. type cards to send in for grading. So again, I've got to be accurate to know, you know, if I'm going to have a shot at not being able to make my grading feedback on a specific card, if I'm going to use these as inventory at card shows. So the next one, if you remember, is the Stadium Club Power Zone King Griffey Jr. And this thing looks amazing. Like, I'm over the moon about this card. It looks so good in a slab. Just, again, the effects, whatever they use to produce this card, they're just amazing. And it looks even better in a slab. And again, I said it screamed 8. And that's exactly what it got. But man, look at that in the slab. The slab just makes all that shine just jump right out at you. And this is a beautiful card. And surprisingly, a very low pop on these cards, period, in PSA and SGC. I don't remember exactly what they are off the top of my head. One of these haven't sold in an 8 in SGC in a while. But a 9 or a PSA 8, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. A PSA 8 right now is worth about 90 bucks. So this is a card that will stay in my collection. This is definitely not show fodder. But if it were, then this was a card I'd be able to make a little bit of money on. I would be about 40 or 50 bucks all in on this card. So overall, nothing really to be disappointed about. Again, I was very accurate on my grading. And as long as I can continue to be, depending on the card, you know, accurate within half a grade, or, you know, half a point or a point, like, then I think I'll be okay sending a lot of this stuff in to get graded. So again, Chris is coming by. He'll hopefully be here within the next 30, 40 minutes or so. He's going to drop off some more cards for me to send off for him to get graded. I'm going to throw a couple in there. So whenever I get this submission ready to go, which will probably be, I don't know, one night this week or maybe even next weekend, just depending on how busy I am, like, I'll film the pre-submission part of that video as well and combine it once again. So again, just you know, this Bo Jackson and the King Griffey Jr., like, these are some of my absolute favorite cards from the 80s. So there was a lot of nostalgia in this order for me. I'm happy with the grades. Just again, great cards. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I think I'll go ahead and close it out at that. So again, thank you everyone for your support. I hit 1,350 subscribers last week, and then I lost 2. So right now I'm right at 1,348. So if you're not already subscribed, if you could do that, that would be great. If you would drop this video a like, that would be greatly appreciated as well. So until the next one, I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll talk to you later.